Good morning dear students, welcome once again. This time we are going to study class 8 history chapter number 4 tribals, Dikkus and the vision of a golden age. The term tribals, everybody knows tribals? Yes, those lower caste people, local people who used to live in forests, right? Lower caste people who are living in forest, local peoples who are living in forest, or local peoples who are residents of that particular area are tribals, right? Dikkus, outsiders, right? Tribal means the local residents, Dikkus means outsiders. These outsiders made these tribals dependent on them, so that's why the term has been given as Dikkus. And the vision of a golden age, we have to learn, we have to know about Birsa Munda also in this chapter, who has inspired the people of that era to have a golden vision, to have a golden era, golden period, right? Later on we will discuss all these things in detail. Let's start the chapter with glossary with the difficult terms, right? And here comes the difficult terms. The first term is fallow. Everybody knows, in the science also you have learned fallow land, fallow field. That means the land which is left uncultivated, which is left without the plantation, right? Yes. So the field left uncultivated, the field left without the plantation for a while, for a short period of time. Why we leave the field for a short period of time? So that they can regain their fertility, isn't it? Yes, in the science also, in the crop part, you might have learned that after growing up of one crop, we leave the field for shorter period of time. Why we leave the field for shorter period of time without the plantation? So that the crop which has already grown and has taken the nourishment from the land, that nourishment will be regained. The soil can regain its fertility. Clear? Yes. So the field left uncultivated for a while, for shorter period of time, so that soil recovers fertility. Clear? I don't think there will be any problem with this term. Fallow, barren, empty. Okay? Fallow field. Okay? Now the another term is sal. Teak, sal, bamboo, wood, all are synonyms. So sal means a tree, isn't it? Tree. Sal is a tree. Mahua. Everybody knows about this term, mahua. What is mahua? Yes, a plant, or you can say a flower from which alcohol is extracted or alcohol is taken. Okay, so a flower that is eaten, either you can eat or use to make alcohol. So it is a flower, a kind of plant, you can also say, which is used for making up of alcohol. Okay, yes, that is mahua. Beaver. Beaver is a term for shifting cultivation. So beaver means shifting cultivation. Why this name beaver has been given? Because it is the term which is used in Madhya Pradesh or MP. Okay. So the term for shifting cultivation, we have to learn about shifting cultivation in this chapter in detail. Okay, so I am gonna explain this term shifting cultivation in detail. Okay, but for the time being, you remember beaver is a term which is used for what? Shift shifting cultivation. Shifting cultivation, and where it is used? In which part of our country? In MP, in Madhya Pradesh. Clear? I think these are simple definitions. Now, sleeper. A term comes sleeper. The horizontal planks. This is horizontal. This is vertical. Right? So, horizontal planks of wood. Horizontal planks of wood on which railway lines are laid. As you see from the figure also, these are sleepers, right? Horizontal planks of wood on which railway lines are laid, right? So that is known as sleeper. Clear? Another term, last but not the least, Vaishnav. The worshippers of Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, is known as Vaishnav, right? So who were Vaishnavas? They used to worship Lord Vishnu. Whoever worships Lord Vishnu, are the devotees of Lord Vishnu, they were called Vaishnav. Yes, I don't think there will be any problem. Note it down. These are very important terms, right? Written material will also be given, but for the time being you note it down. Now the chapter begins. The chapter begins with the 19th century. By 19th century, the tribal people in different parts of India are involved in variety of activities. See, in this chapter we have to learn about various activities, various profession with which the people are joined with, or the various activities that people are carrying. Okay, for example, jhum cultivator. Here is the heading. Some were jhum cultivators. Some peoples are jhum cultivators. Some peoples are cattle herders. Some peoples are food gatherers. These are some of the activities, right? So, what are these activities? I am going to explain one by one as the chapter goes on, right? So, first of all, you understand what is jhum cultivation, who are jhum cultivators. Jhum cultivation, another name of jhum cultivation is shifting cultivation. Always remember, jhum cultivation, shifting cultivation. Shifting cultivation, jhum cultivation. Okay? So, jhum cultivation is another name of shifting cultivation. Now, understand this term shifting cultivation very clearly, dear, because it is the main part of the chapter. Okay? See what happens whenever you come to certain land for farming. What you will do first? You will first clear the land by cutting up tall forest, then burning up of bushes. Then when the land gets cleared, you fertilize them after putting some manure, right? Then plants were planted. This is a simple method. These all methods, apart from that, when they done the plantation in one part of land, they will move on to another part of land for doing or carrying out that activity for farming in another part of land. This shifting, this transfer of people from one land to another is known as shifting cultivation. Clear? So the cultivators cut the tree tops, that means they cut the tree tops, they cut the trees also sometimes to allow sunlight to reach the ground. Suppose if long trees are over there, it might be possible that sunlight won't reach the ground. So people cut the tree tops, tree from the top part, so that the sunlight falls to the ground. Okay, come to the ground, because sunlight is very necessary for the process of photosynthesis, right? So people were also aware that if the sunlight won't reach the plants, then how could the plants will survive? So that's why the cultivators first cut the tree tops so that the sunlight reach the ground. Now after that they burn the vegetation on land. That means they burn the bushes, they burn the shrubs and all these things, right, to clear it for cultivation. That means land is almost leveled now, land is fully emptied for sowing up of seeds, right? Now they spread the ash. Ash means the burnt vegetation. That means when you burn the vegetation, when the shrubs and bushes are being burned, ash remains, right? Okay, the ash is being spread to fertilize the soil, right? To fertilize the soil, they spread the ash, they scatter the ash, that burnt vegetation. That means in Hindi we used to call rock as ash, right? So ash is being spread to fertilize the soil. After that they scatter seeds or they put in the seeds, right? And after that, when finally the plant is being planted, after harvesting, when the plant grows, ripes, become mature enough, they used to do the harvesting. And after harvesting the crops, after cutting up of crops, they move to another field, right? So this moving of people from one field to another is known as shifting cultivation, or you can say jhum cultivation. Okay, clear? So this is the process of jhum cultivation. This is the process of shifting cultivation. Jhum cultivation, another name of shifting cultivation. So who were jhum cultivators? Those people who are carrying out, those people who are doing shifting cultivation are jhum cultivators. Clear? Yes. I don't think there will be any problems. Okay? When you time and again revise these portions, it will be far clearer. Okay? Now apart from jhum cultivators, apart from this shifting cultivation, some were hunters who used to hunt the animals and take up their food, right? So some were hunters and some were gatherers. Those who were not interested in doing the farming, they used to collect the fruits and other eatable items from the forest, from the trees, right? So they were gatherers. Gathering means collecting, right? So some people were hunters, some people were gatherers. Tribal groups in some areas lived by hunting and gathering forest produce. Whatever the things are being produced from forest, okay, those were being gathered, those were being collected by some people, and some people were surviving on hunting. Clear? So some were jhum cultivators or some were shifting cultivators, some people were hunters, some people were food gatherers, different activities, right? The Khons, this is an example of tribal group who were these forest gatherers, okay, or hunters. Khons were one such community of Odisha. That means these people, this community Khons belonging to Odisha, were food gatherers or hunters. They were not doing the shifting cultivation, they were not farmers. Clear? Now, some herded animals, some were animal herders. Okay, animal herders who used to keep cattle and animals for their livelihood, right? So some were animal tribal groups lived by herding and rearing animals. Rearing animals, taking care of animals, domesticating animals, right? Yes. So examples of it: one Gujjars of Punjab. See, these are the tribal groups. To which locality these belong to? One Gujjars, they belong to Punjab. Labadis, they belong to Andhra Pradesh. Gaddis, they belong to Gaddis of Kullu, and Bakharwals of Kashmir. They were cattle herders. So these are the example of cattle herders. Another activity. Okay. So question may be asked: the one Gujjars belonging to which area of our country? They were from Punjab, and what was their activity? They were cattle herders, right? They were rearing animals, they were keeping cattle and animals. Okay, too many questions can be framed out of it. Clear? I don't think there will be any problem. Now, some took to settled cultivation. Some people were also looking for settled cultivation. Shifting cultivation means moving from one plot of land to another. But settled cultivation, not to move from one land to another. In fact, they used to do the farming on the same piece of land time and again, right? Many tribal group began settling down, so they also think that why to move from one place to another. In fact, you should settle down at one place and do the cultivation there only, cultivating their fields in one place year after year. So some tribal group takes to settled cultivation. Clear? Example: Mundas of Chota Nagpur. Chota Nagpur is an area covering parts of Jharkhand, Odisha, okay, those areas, West Bengal and those areas, okay. So they were the Mundas of Chota Nagpur, okay. The Mundas of Chota Nagpur were an example of a tribe who were undertaking settled cultivation, who were doing settled cultivation. The British officials also saw settled tribal group like the Gonds and Santhals are more civilized than hunter-gatherers or shifting cultivators. See dear, it was just a general statement. British officials, when they meet settled cultivator, they were very cool, calm, okay, and when they meet hunters or food gatherers, they were furious. They were very much angry with the nature, okay. So British officials also saw the settled tribal groups are more civilized. They are civilized. They are living like a human being, okay, whereas these food gatherers and hunters were not that much civilized, generally, occasionally, okay. And moreover, two examples were given: Gonds and Santhals. These were also settled cultivators, mind you, right? So these are some of the points which are needed to be discussed in this part. What are the different activities that people took? Some were jhum cultivators, some were hunters, some were food gatherers, some were animal herders, or they were herding animals. Some took to settled cultivation, right? Yes. Now, how did colonial rule affect tribal lives? Now British intervened. When British came, their life got affected, got changed. How? Before the arrival of the British, many tribal chiefs had right to administer and control their territories. That means before coming of British, these tribal people were headed by whom? Tribal chief. There is a chief in every clan, in every family. So these tribal chiefs have the right to take care and to control their areas or territories. means. That means they have the control over the areas. Okay. Now, under the British rule, when the British came, they lost much of their administrative power. These administrative powers were taken up by the Britishers and were forced to follow laws made by British officials, and they were forced, these Britishers forced these tribal people to follow the rules made by the Britishers. Clear? Yes. Now British introduced one policy, one plan known as land settlement. Okay? What happens as per according to land settlement? They measure the land. That means they measure the land and define rights of each individual to that land. And after measuring up of land, they give the right to different people. Only chief will come into this area. Tribal people of Gond will not enter into this area. Certain restrictions are there. Okay, right? So they defined the right of each individual, each person, whether you can enter the forest or not, or something like that, to that land, and as well as they have fixed the revenue or the tax demand for the state. That means they fixed the tax. So what the British done? They have came out with the plan of land settlement, as per according to which they measure the lands, they defined the rights of the people, different people, as to whether they have the right of coming onto that land or not. Moreover, they fixed the revenue of that land that they have to pay. Right? Yes. The British effort to settle Jhum cultivator was not very successful. Britisher always tried to settle the people as Jhum cultivator. Okay. But this was not successful. Why this was not successful? Settled of cultivation is not easy in areas where water is scarce and soil is dry. Just because water is scarce, very few, little, okay, it was not in too much amount, and soil was dry, that's why settled cultivation or Jhum cultivation was not successful in each and every area. Clear? Yes, this was the thing. Very simple language it is. Okay, you read it twice or thrice, everything will be clear. Now, forest laws and their impact. Forest law and their impact. The word impact means result, consequence. Okay, so forest laws classified some forest as reserved. Britisher classified forest, or they have given the name to some forest as reserved. Why they reserve some forest? So as they produce timber which British wanted. Timber means wood, valuable wood. Okay, so there are trees on the ground which British also wanted, so that they can sell it at higher price and earn more and more profit. In order to do this, they have implemented forest laws. Okay, they have classified forest as reserved. That means everybody can't enter into the forest. When you go to the restaurant, some tables are reserved, right? That means that is already been booked. Now any other person can't come and sit over that table, isn't it? So that is the meaning of reserved. That means that piece of land, that piece of forest is reserved, and anybody can't come and enter over there and can do as per according to their wishes. right, as per their will. So this is the meaning of reserved. So they have classified some forest as reserved. Why? Because the timbers which were grown on that land, the Britisher also wanted those timbers, right, those woods. Okay, now in these forests, in reserved forest, people were not allowed to move freely. I have already told you, people were not given the right to move freely. They have to go, if they want to go, they have to take certain authority or permission, then only they will enter that area. Clear? People were not allowed to move freely, collect fruits or hunt animals. So they were restricted from hunting animal, collecting fruits, or move freely in those areas. Now the areas are being restricted by these Britisher. Everybody can't move at each and every area. Clear? Yes. Now many shifting cultivators therefore forced to move to other areas in search of work and livelihood, because most of the forests were taken by Britisher and they have put a board or they have put barriers of reserved in that area. So many shifting cultivators left the cultivation because that much land was not available. Moreover, they moved to other areas in search of work and livelihood. Okay, for the earning, they start moving from one place to another. This poses problem, this creates problem of laborers for Britisher to cut trees for railway sleepers and to transport logs. At that time, railway lines were being built up. So when railway lines are to be laid, the laborers have to cut down the forest to make the sleeper, right? Sleeper are the horizontal planks of wood. So there was a problem of laborers in making up of railway sleepers, because they can't enter into any forest and cut down the trees, because forests were considered as reserve, right? So they can't enter into any forest and cut down the trees for railway sleepers. So this was the problem for laborers. And to transport logs, now while they were transporting the woods, heavy woods, logs means woods, okay, so if they were transporting the wood, it was also a problem. They can't enter into any land without the proper authentication or the permission, right? Thus Britishers decided that they would give jhum cultivators small patches of land in forest. So in order to overcome this problem, Britishers decided that they will give jhum cultivators or shifting cultivators small piece of land in the forest and allow them to cultivate these on the condition that those who lived in the village would have to provide labor to forest department and look after the forest. So the Britisher decided that they will give small piece of land to jhum cultivators, and in return jhum cultivators have to provide laborers, man force, okay, for what? For these activities, okay, these on condition that those who lived in the village, they will provide labor to forest department for cutting up of trees and making railway sleepers, right? So Britisher decided they will give small patches of land to the jhum cultivator, and jhum cultivator in return have to give laborers or to work as a labor for making up of sleepers in the forest, and they will look or take care of the forest as well. Clear? Many tribal groups rose in open rebellion because of such restrictions. These tribal groups revolted in many areas, started rebellion, they rebelled, they started making revolt, right? Who were the people who made the revolt? In 19th and 20th century, these tribal groups of different areas, different parts, rebelled. Okay? Kols, they rebelled in 1831-32. Santhals, they revolted in 1855. Bastar rebellion in central India broke out in 1910. Warli revolt, which took place in Maharashtra in 1940. These are certain revolts against the forest laws and rules being made by the Britisher. Now we have to read about Birsa Munda. Okay, we will learn about the Birsa Munda, but for the time being, you note down the homework. We will continue in the next class. Okay, about the Birsa Munda, and we will discuss the things later on. Till then, you note down the homework. Define fallow, mahua, sleeper, and Vaishnav. These are the 4 terms you have to define. And what is shifting cultivation? What is shifting cultivation? You have to write the answer of these questions. Clear? Do it. Note it down. Okay, next time we are going to continue with Birsa Munda, because we have to learn about Birsa Munda also. Okay, hope you have enjoyed the session. Thank you. Have a nice day.